This is a fucking podcast.
You got a phone booth for my feet?
A phone book? Well, we had Wee Man as our guest.
Yeah. Wow.
And he's shorter in stature. He has to sit on the edge. He likes to sit on the edge. He can't kick back in here. It'd be weird. His feet wouldn't touch. Yeah. Dude, this is so great to have you.
It's so good to be
here.
You
can sit back and be comfortable.
Cool.
As long as it's kind of like right here.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep. Hi, bro.
So good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
I was saying to these guys, so before you came, you and I were going to talk about being kids and all that stuff, our weird, crazy lives.
Yeah.
Growing up in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
But then I was telling them, I always forget that you're this big fucking rock star that had huge success, in Porno for Pyro, and before that was your band when we were young, was K38.
Yeah.
When did that start, K38?
K38, well, that was just, being surfers growing up, surfing Station 8 and Station 9. And then I just was like, everybody was doing like metal music and, stuff like that. And I was like, I want to do surf music. I'm a surfer, so I'm going to do surf music.
Right.
So then we just started writing surf songs and songs about the ocean and surfboards and all that stuff and the good life. And it was the best ever. Playing Madame Wong's just up the street all the time and all the backyard parties.
And the beginning of K38 was what year?
I would say 1983, 82.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were playing parties too.
Yeah.
And I always tell I don't know if I told these guys this, but I'll never forget. You were playing a party at Sunset Mesa.
Yes.
Which is in the Palisades.
Yes.
Which is sad to say is gone, but it was this killer party. And I was just fucking hammered drunk, right? Yeah. And I knew you were playing. You told me you were playing. And I went there, and you guys had taken a break. And you went to go to the bathroom or get a beer or whatever. And the rest of your band members were there. I forget who was in the band. But I grabbed the bass. And I was trying to play. And I was so fucking drunk. And your guys didn't even care. They just started playing. And I was just strumming my fingers along the bass, trying to keep up. And all of a sudden, I just felt myself slowly starting to black out.
Wow.
And I passed out and cracked my head on the
No way. I didn't know this story.
The cement of the driveway, and I was out. I was out with the guitar laying across my chest.
No way. Wow.
And then I came to somebody grabbing the guitar off me and then pulling me up on my shirt and goes, I heard just somebody go, get him the fuck out of here.
Wow. I didn't
And then you came in and just started jamming. But that was my musical career.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I would have totally what
would you have done?
I would have gone, Nick, I love you. What happened? Are you okay? Are you
But so then what happened with the band K38? Because you guys were, like you said, Madame Wong's. It was blowing up.
Yeah. Well, what happened was it was the best. We were doing all the parties, Madame Wong's, Hop Sings, at my place on 9th and Wilshire.
Yes.
We were playing all those places and parties. And then Hal Jepsen was a surf filmmaker.
Right.
He lived in Topanga, and he had this old like limousine, the old style ones, and he used to drive us around in a limo and take us to Mexico and K38, and we'd party and surf, and he used to show surf movies behind us while we played at Madame Wong's.
That's right.
And all that was going good, and then I started to get into I met this girl, Krista, and she lived here on and
right.
two houses up on
right.
or 2 buildings up. And I met her at the Gaslight.
I must have known her.
Kristen. Well, there was Kelly. There was Kelly, her older sister.
Dude, she fucking moved back. She lives over here. I run her walking on my dog.
Yeah. Okay, so Kelly's sister.
She was good looking.
Yeah, so Kristen was this black-haired girl, this like just witch kind of thing.
Wait.
And I had yellow Jimmy Z's on and tie wraps, and I was just like in a tank top, white tank top, and I was just like, you know, surfer guy, you know. And she was like, you know, this like princess of darkness. And so we were at the Gaslight. Yeah. And she came in, and I was like, that's the hottest girl I've ever seen. Like black hair with white skin and green eyes. You know? Yeah. And I just go, oh my God, she's like a porcelain doll. And she sat next to me, and I started shaking because she was so powerful and dark. She put her hand on my thigh and started playing. And I was like, wow. And then she goes, take me to your house. Just write me. I didn't even know her name.
Right.
Lord.
And you're playing at the time at Gaslight.
No. I was just there.
Oh, you were just hanging out.
Just hanging out, sorry. Right? But I was in K38, the famous band. You know,
she knew you.
She knew who I was.
And we went to school with her.
Yeah. So then I went with her. We went in her car because I had come with like Danny Warner, you know, one of our friends who picked me up at my house, and so I would lived on Lincoln and Margarita. That was my parents' house. So she had a car, and she put me in her car. And on her radio station, everything was KNAC. It was like the metal station. Yeah. So no matter what you pushed, it was all KNAC.
It was the NAC, wasn't it called the NAC?
It was called the NAC. It was called the NAC. So everything. And so she had AC/DC Black and Black full blast, so loud it was like mind-boggling. And she was playing this music that was not surf music. It was just like this crazy AC/DC when Black and Black just came out.
Yeah.
And so she drove me into my house, and then it was the most incredible experience with this girl. I just fell in love with her. And then we passed out after, you know, making love. Oh. And then when I woke up, she had a telephone cord wrapped around her arm, and she was shooting up.
Whoa.
And I was like, and I opened my eyes, and I saw the blood going into the drop, you know, into the thing, and then shooting into this thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a fruitcake compared to this girl. You know, she's gnarly. You know what I mean? She's gnarly. So I thought it was the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my life. A normal person would go, get out of here. I was like, I need you. So then that was it. That was the beginning of the end for me, because I then looked into everything about being wicked, you know? And then the band fell apart, and, you know.
But did you go down her path?
Yeah, 100%. That was the hottest thing I ever seen in my life. Was that the first
time, though? I mean, we're jumping right into the drug use.
That was the first time I saw heroin.
Oh, the coffee's ready. Do you want any?
Sure, why not?
Grab a cup.
Okay, this is no, I want this one.
Get that cup.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So anyway, to make a long story short, I didn't get into like drug addiction and alcoholism because of a bad upbringing or parents. I had the best parents, the best everything. I just wanted to be Kristen, and then I wanted to be Keith Richards. Then I went, you know what I mean? Yeah. Got into like the people that did it and got away with it, you know, and the music they made and stuff like that.
You would have done
it? So that's what happened to K38.
But wait a minute.
Heroin took it away from me.
You want a donut?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you for the coffee.
But, you know, so let me ask you this, though, because you and I partied as kids. We were always, you know, but that's when it got heavy for you.
Yeah, the drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah, smoking weed.
Smoking weed and stuff like that. But then I became a full-fledged heroin addict.
What?
And that's when I could no longer drink like a gentleman, you know. I would try to drink red wine with my dad.
What year was that?
End up...
like, what year was that when you became a full-fledged heroin addict?
I would say there was a 7-year run of full-fledged.
But what year did you start for you?
I think I was 24 years old, and I'm 59 now, so I can't do the math.
No, but you were 24. Okay. So at 24, we were... I don't fucking know. I didn't even finish high school. I can't do it.
Yeah, but anyway, I just... that was my introduction to heroin.
Because then... That's kind of like, it's not, I don't want to say it seems like it goes with the territory, but I mean, from what little I know about bands and musicians, but it always seems like that drug goes with the musical, you know, the career of a musician.
Yeah.
A rock musician.
And just for the record, Kristen's doing great. She has kids. She's, you know what I mean? She's doing great.
Have you
in
talked to
life.
her then?
Yeah, she's been sober many years. So.
Wow.
So,
Do I know her?
yeah. She's Kelly. But there was Carrie,
You know.
who was the youngest. Then Kristen was in the middle. And then Kelly was
Kelly's
the
my
oldest.
age, right?
Yeah, Kelly's your age. Kristen was my age. And Carrie was a year younger than me. So.
What are you guys laughing at?
You're eating a donut.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Do I get coffee and donuts?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We just like watching you eat a donut.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm 27 years sober now, so.
27 years sober.
And a lot of people died at 27 in my business.
Which
Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix,
Right.
Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse. The list goes on. Brian Jones, Jim Morrison, all 27. I'm on the good side of 27, the sober
which is
side.
amazing.
It's just amazing to me.
Because I remember when you got sober,
Mm-hmm.
you were fucking out of your mind.
Yeah. Well, I went through 8 drug rehabs
Hey,
and a
that's-
mental ward, so it wasn't like an easy, like, here,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. But my final rehab was an out-of-body white light experience, and that's when I knew.
what was it?
It was
What was the?
I was in my 8th drug rehab,
Okay.
and I was sitting there, and there was a kid that was in there. I think he was 17 years old,
Mhm.
and he sat to have breakfast with me in the rehab. And he goes, "I like your band." He was from Texas.
Yeah.
And he goes, "My parents don't like you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "I like your song Blood Rag. It's a song that we have on the first Porno for Pyros record."
Right.
And then we were sitting there eating and we're talking nice. And then he left me a note to Peter. And then he got up and walked away. And so I opened the note, thank God. And it was a suicide letter that he goes, "When you finish reading this, I'll be dead in your bed with my veins open." So I screamed and I started running and all the nurses followed me. And by the time we got to the room, he had drawn where his veins were and he didn't do it yet. And they grabbed him and he was screaming like a demon, I remember. And they carried him away. And I collapsed and had a nervous breakdown. And I just screamed out to something up there. And I said, "Please don't let me die like this. Give me an honorable death. Let me jump in front of a bus and save a baby. I don't want to die like this." And then I got jerked out of my body. And I was looking down. And then I went back into my body. And then the nurses put me on the bed. And they were going to give me like sedative. I said, "No more drugs." I screamed at it at the top of my lungs. So they left me alone. I was laying on my stomach and I jerked out of my body and it was a really low end sound, like moo, like the sound of a really deep low end. And I was hovering over my body. And then I was up in space and then I saw orbs, like lights with tails everywhere. And there was one light that I knew and it was Perry. I go, "Perry, look, there's a shutter opening and close." Yeah, Perry Farrell. And he couldn't see it. And then I went into it. And then I perceived in 360 and all at once, it said, you go to a certain program and do these certain steps and, get someone to sponsor you through this program. And, this force came through 100 people and they wrote a book and follow that. And then I came out of that light, was hovering over my body again, and then fell in my body. And I sat up. I go, "I'm freaking out." And then I laid back down and got jerked again. That low end thing went back up in there, went in that, and I felt bliss better than I ever felt on heroin, ever. Like clean peace. And then went back into my body. And then for 3 days, I saw ghosts everywhere in the rehab. And there were spirits, like gasoline fume balls of energy that were burning in hell. They were burning with addiction, desire, but they didn't have a body to quench what they were hooked on. So they're trying to get into bodies, And I was like freaking out. And so I told the psychiatrist there what was happening to me, because keep your mouth shut, because they're never going to let you out and put you in a mental ward.
Right.
But what you're having is called a white light experience. And usually people that do that get sober. And that's it. Everything was gone. I was addicted to 2 packs of Marlboro Reds a day. I was, had all these medication, it just all got lifted. There was no longer a fight.
Which is funny because like I said, I remember when you came in when you got sober.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have 34 years in April.
That's
couple months.
huge. That's amazing.
But what was funny was I think I've told Dylan the story when you got sober and we were going to go to Skid Row.
Yeah.
There's a panel down at Skid Row to give service to these homeless guys downtown.
Yeah.
Our friend Ronnie, who
was my sponsor. In a program.
Yeah, who we grew up with.
Yeah.
Like Ronnie asked you, he said, "Are you willing?" Right, and you can pick up from me. You said, "Are you willing to go to any length to stay sober?"
Yeah.
And you were just like, "Yeah, what
do you need me to do?
What do you need me to do?" And Ronnie said, "Well, we go down to Skid Row, and we bathe the homeless people."
Yeah, right? He did tell me that. Right? he goes, just bring a pair of shorts, like swim trunks. So I brought swim trunks because I thought we were I was gonna be washing homeless people in a. He said a kiddie pool. We get in there and fill it with water with soap and sponges, and you scrub people. And I was like, okay, that's what I got to do to stay sober.
And you did.
Yeah, I was ready to do. I was so desperate.
What did you? When he said that to you, were you thinking like?
No, I go, okay, this is what I got to do.
You'll do it.
It's way better than shooting up in an alley.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'll wash anybody instead of shooting up in an alley. So.
And then how did you? So then, before that though, how did you find? I mean, I know. I think I remember. You were surfing, right? Weren't you down at Cabo or something surfing when you met Perry and?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I'm trying to get to the trajectory of your
but
career.
how? Okay, so basically, we were doing the whole K38 thing, and then I got into that whole thing of the heroin. So it was just starting, and then Bill, the drummer of K38, was like, he couldn't hang with me. It was like
he couldn't.
I was just going in a dark direction,
right.
And I was changing, and the music was changing, and I was using distortion, just going different. No more surf guitar, more wickedness, and experimenting with scales to match what was happening to me, and the music was becoming more experimental and the writing and stuff. And then my brother started playing with me, and we were called DiStefano, and we did a demo. There was a song called Hypocrisies, which I re-released many years later, and I did a solo, and this guy Greg, who was managing me at the time, was living with Perry. And he gave him my demo tape, and he goes, "This guy sounds like the Stooges, this band that I hadn't heard yet."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "There's this," and they knew that I was friends with Greg and this guy Mike Cassell, who did Bronze Age.
Yep.
Goes, "I'll give you guys all a surf trip. Danny Laughlin, Roger Leonard. We can all go surf Porto Escondido if you can get Perry to come." And so Greg got Perry to come, and I got Mike Cassell. And so we all got free surfboards and free surf trip because of Perry coming through this guy, Greg. So we all went there, and then I shared a cabana at Porto Escondido with me, Perry, and Greg. And me and Perry just hit it off.
Hit it off.
And then I was playing classical guitar, and he was like, wow, I've never, that's different.
Yeah.
Like finger picking classical, like traditional classical stuff. And so he really liked that. And he goes, "You should try out for my band. I'm starting a new band." So.
And then when he says try out for my band, did you have to really try out?
Well, the thing
what
was.
What does he mean by that?
Because there was already
like an
tryouts.
audition?
There was, audition.
Oh, so there were other guys.
Yeah, so I went in, and there was like 50 guitar players playing really fast, all like Eddie Van Halen, Eddie Mousy. And I was just trying to find the music, and I was just hitting one note I was trying to fit in with it all. And Perry and Casey noticed that.
Yeah.
That I was playing for the room, not to show them, hey, look, I can do this. And Steve Vai wanted to be his guitar player, but he picked me, and I was an unknown, and Warner Brothers was bummed, like, you made a mistake. But Perry was loyal to me. I'll never forget that, He picked me as an artist, not as a thing. But I can do all that fast shit.
Yeah. But that's what's amazing. It's almost like being an actor.
Yeah.
And you could go in and you're trying to impress what you think, impress the casting director, impress the producers, the director, whatever. But it's the director. If you come in as yourself, I always say, as an actor, bring yourself into the character and not try and guess what they're doing. Do what you do.
Yeah.
What you're good at.
Yeah.
And you're honest in your, it sounds like it's the same thing. Like you're honest in your playing.
Yeah.
And they spot that this is who you are.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And they dug that.
Yeah.
And then it blew up.
Yeah.
And how was that? What was that like?
Well,
I remember when you blew up.
So the first album went to number 3 on the Billboard Top 200, U.S. Billboard. So that was huge. And then our song, Pets, went to number 1 for 5 weeks straight. So I had a number 1 song for 5 weeks straight.
And
my whole life changed. And we were on the cover of Spin, and everybody around me changed.
Your whole life changed.
My whole life
Because you were in K38.
Yeah. And then
Santa Monica surfer guy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
that happened. I bought a Maserati.
What was that like?
I bought a Maserati immediately. I had a Maserati, and then I got an apartment in the Palisades next to Lake Shrine, and then a 3-story apartment on the sand in Venice.
So you're making tons of money.
And then we had a 11-bedroom house in Malibu that Rick Rubin now owns. And so I was renting all this stuff.
You had to make
tons of money. So I
tons
wasn't smart enough to go buy something.
Right.
And then, so everything was being rented and limousines. And then like when we played Woodstock, Bob Dylan, we played between Bob Dylan and the Allman Brothers. It was the Allman Brothers and Porno for Pyros and Bob Dylan. They came in on tour buses. I had my own private helicopter that I came in on with a $10,000 sharkskin suit. Like we paid, we got paid $350,000. We spent $500,000. So it was like we were overspending. So at the end of it, I was just this gnarly broke junkie with nothing, So, but I had a good time,
A $10,000 sharkskin suit.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah.
And at that time, what was that like, though? I always wonder, what's that like? All of a sudden, you go from nothing to fucking being ultra famous hit song with loads of money. What's that feel like?
It was so fun. It was amazing.
Right?
And then it was so sad when I couldn't control and enjoy and smoke crack like a gentleman. You know what I mean? I just couldn't. And that was the sad thing.
Yeah.
So 8 drug rehabs later, and we canceled so many tours. I mean, I had to make an amends. I had to make an amends to my drummer's wife 2 years ago. And I went and cleaned her garage and everything because they lost so much. Like we were supposed to tour South America, and that tour was canceled. Japan constantly canceling tours because Pete's in a drug rehab. He's in a drug.
You had to make a lot of amends then.
Yes, and still to this day,
of course,
I'm finding out things that I didn't know, And so, that's what sucks is you do all this stuff and you're doing great, but you didn't realize that when you cancel a tour, there's tour buses. There's a lot of people that relied on that 6-week run.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that get out of a job because you're in a hospital wearing a gown with your butt sticking out, begging for meds at the nurse's station. We're laughing because I'm laughing now because I'm 27 years sober.
Right.
And I've made most of the amends,
Well, and here's the thing. I always tell people, we get to laugh at it because we fucking survived.
Yeah, and we made our amends.
We made our amends.
You got to go and make your amends.
And we're not laughing. I'm laughing at myself. You're laughing at yourself. We get to laugh because we speak the same language.
Yes, yeah.
We made it. We survived. And we get to live these great lives. You know? That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I'm so grateful.
Yeah, me too.
Me
too. Like on the way here, it usually takes me 50 minutes to get from Camarillo to Santa Monica, or an hour if there's a little bit of traffic. But it took me 2.5 hours because someone died on the 405. So I'm grateful.
Yeah.
That, and I'm sad about that. Where if I was driving, I'd be all pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all about you, me,
yeah.
Gotta get there.
Yeah. And so I'm here humbled and sad for the person and their family for what happened on the 405 today.
Do you know you're like one of my oldest friends?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So when I moved,
elementary and junior high.
I came out in 76 or 77, I don't remember exactly, and went to Lincoln.
Yeah.
And I got picked on.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. I didn't know Peter, and Peter was super short.
Yeah, I was. It was the 7th grade, and you were in the 8th grade.
Yeah, how tall were you then?
I
3
don't know.
feet?
I'm 5'7" now.
You were smaller,
I
much
was small.
smaller.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, Jamie Hummer, who was
Yeah.
huge in junior high school. He was like
6'6" or something.
right? In junior high. So there were these two opposites. And I'd walk through the hallway, and Jamie Hummer when I'd walk by, he would sneak up on the side of me and bash me in the side of the head with a history book.
Yeah.
And just flap. And I couldn't do anything about it because he was so big. And you saw it, and you grabbed my book, and you went running down the hallway, and Jamie Hummer was walking with his big body. And you just leaped up like Michael Jordan.
I remember that.
And smashed him right in the face with the history book. He went flying into a locker, and Peter just kept running. And I felt so good. I felt like somebody stuck up for me. This little tiny guy stuck up for me because you were cool and popular.
Yeah.
Because we would go surfing,
Yeah.
and Peter was always kind of crazy. I had made some board. I had stolen.
Yeah.
I was telling these guys I stole these. Do you remember when I stole all those Zephyr boards?
Yeah.
And I cut them in half, and I made like my own crazy board, and I brought it down to the beach. And you go, I'll ride it. And it was one board made out of 3 boards that I had stolen.
Yeah.
And you had brought cigars for us.
Yeah.
And we're in like in 8th and 7th grade, smoking cigars. But then I think you told me, you go, you can't keep these boards because they were, remember the Zephyr boards were all the way Jeff Ho painted them.
Yeah, yeah.
Each board was unique.
Yeah.
And you go, these dudes are going to kick your ass. And we set them on fire on the beach because we didn't know how to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But that's,
Yeah.
you were one of my first friends, and definitely one of the, and Bernard, who stuck up for me
Bernard,
at that time.
I remember Bernard. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
long time.
Long time.
And then you became this huge rock star, which is nuts.
Well, yeah, it's.
What are you doing now?
Well,
like what's happened since Porno for Pyro?
Well, I just like right today, like I'm opening a beach club up in Sayulita, Mexico.
Yes.
And it's called Sayulita Pete's, and we're in the middle of doing the feasibility report today.
What's that?
It's where you get there. I don't know too much about it. I went to go play in Mexico a week ago, and I was there for 3 days, and I came up with this idea, and all these rich people said yes. And
this is how new it is?
It's how new it is.
Oh my God.
And so I was able to raise $5 million in 3 days.
No way.
And commitments and all this stuff. And then another $5 million to do the outside the skin of it and everything. So I got this team of people working, and I'm going to have a hotel on the sand in Sayulita.
Wow.
Called Sayulita Pete's. And it's going to be a club, restaurant, bar. And we're going to throw festivals and shows.
Oh my God.
And it's going to be an exclusive hotel membership. And I'm going to theme the rooms with I'm going to have a School of Rock room where Stacy, the president of School of Rock, is going to come and decorate her room for her students.
Wow.
Then I'm going to have like a Led Zeppelin room or whatever, like a Beatles room or whatever, themed rooms. But then I'm going to have a Sayulita Pete's room. It's going to have all the movies I've done and, the music for the movies and Porno for Pyros and stuff, memorabilia in there. And it's overlooking the water, and the surf spot's great. So we'll have to come. Maybe we can do a show from there.
Yes.
At one of these shows out there.
Right? We said we were going to pin you down.
Yeah, yeah.
That you're going to take us down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
We're going to go down with Pete.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a show down there. And here's what's funny. I'm glad you brought this up, because it's got to go back to me eventually.
We're surfers.
But you talked about movies.
Yes. Oh,
and
yeah.
what was the first movie you scored?
Was your movie.
An Eye for Talent.
An Eye for Talent and then 5150.
Right here.
And then I did
Look,
John
there's your
Lentz's
name.
Milkman.
See?
Yep. Oh, that's beautiful.
And on that one.
Oh, wow.
So what's funny is you were.
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't that great?
That's great.
But and then you've become like a big.
Well,
you've done a lot of big movies. What
that's
movies
how I
have
was
you done?
able to buy my house, put my kids through college. My son's in college right now. Was music for media, which
meaning
movies, TV shows, video games, commercials.
What are some of the films you've done that you've composed?
Well, Harry Gregson Williams, who was in my band Rammy together, I've been able to be, thanks to him, on his movies like all the Shrek films, Man on Fire, Equalizer 1 and 2, Phone Booth, like the list goes on. IMDb has it all.
Yeah.
But like, Call of Duty video game.
And you're playing
BMW
guitar
commercial.
on those, right?
Yeah. And then I've done film scores, like your films,
Yeah.
and then other films too. And I've done a film score for John Linson, who's done Sons of Anarchy and Yellowstone TV
John
show.
Linson.
John Linson.
We grew up with John Linson.
Yeah, and then I've done a film score for Peter Iliff, who did Patriot Games,
Right.
and Point Break and stuff like that. So that was fun, and but I'm like, I have attention deficit disorder. I'll go, okay, I'm a film composer. Now I want to be a rock star. Now I want to be a surfer. Now I want to be an entrepreneur. So I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But mainly,
Do you like the film scoring?
I love it. I love it.
What do you like about it? Like compared to like say.
Well, because you're being of service to the director.
Mm.
The director has a vision.
Yeah.
And he has that, like, there was this movie called Domino.
Okay, I
with
remember
Keira
that.
Knightley and Mickey Rourke.
Oh yeah.
They were bounty hunters. And she's had the shotgun and stuff. So when you don't hear the music, it's sort of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know if she's a killer, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But then when I get back there with the guitar and go, you know what I mean? Then it makes it like Man on Fire, when the guy was cutting off his fingers and cauterizing them with a cigarette lighter in the car
Yes.
when his hands are still. That's me going,
Oh,
with
that
the
was
bow
you.
and making noises for Harry. Yeah.
Look for
And
that, right?
So, and then there's the princess dancing with Shrek at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and the theme song. And then, I'm with my 12-string acoustic guitar, and pretty soon I can go from a rated G love scene to a, rated R murder scene,
And then to transition from that,
and everything in between, obviously.
then at the same time you're scoring all these films, you were still obviously working on your own music and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and then I have a band called there was Rambient, Venice Underground. I was in Hybrid. I did 2 tours and an album with Peter Murphy. I did an album and played live with Scott Weiland. I've done a bunch of other bands and stuff, and I hope I'm not missing it. There's I'm sure I'm missing a lot. Then Lance Armstrong, from 2010 to 2020. We toured all over the world, 2 DJs and me on guitar doing mashups. And we actually have a gig this month in Aspen. So I'm going to snowboard and play there. And we stopped in 2020, so now we're getting back together again 5 years later. And that's my band. And I have a new band called Shutter Orbs. And that's 2 female singers. And that's a great band, Shutter Orbs. We just played the Viper Room 2 nights ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
and
knew about
that was fun. And so I'm staying busy. And then I've always loved DJing and playing guitar, which is fun.
Do you feel like has your music changed, or has it gotten better, or is there any kind of change that's happened in your music since you've gotten sober? What would you say that you've, do you know what I mean? What would be the biggest change maybe?
It's just, there's me out of my mind on heroin and crack, blowing money and everything. So there's the sound of that explosion, which people love and they want,
Right, so that is a sound.
That is a sound.
Yeah.
And then there's, the sound of me at 59 years old with gray hair, sober, boring as hell.
But is that just in your mind, how you think of it that way?
Well, I mean, it's not boring as hell. It's just that there's all of that I can bring into my art, but it's not boring as hell. It's what would I say? It's there's people that say they like my latest solo song better than anything. I was just in the car when I was on the phone with somebody driving here. There's this song called First Hit of Wednesday. And it's me with my laptop doing I like electronic music and dance and stuff like that. So it's that with like really fast guitar playing. And so there's that, And
so it's like it's almost, but what you said was about me with the gray hair.
No, I'm joking.
Right.
It's a joke.
But it's like an emotional.
If I was looking in the mirror going, oy vey, and being like, I would be dyeing my hair, dyeing my beard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want, I'd be bleaching my teeth. I am natural. And because I want to be 59. I've been through hell. I don't want to pretend like, hey, it's been a great life. It's been a fucking beating, you know? And so I want to show that. Like, I got some miles, man.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't want to be anything that... So this is what I believe. So this is great that you asked about the music. So there's 4 seasons in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's spring. So life expectancy is like 78, 77 or something like that. So let's round it up to 80 years. So 0 to 20 is your spring.
Mm-hmm.
20 to 40 is your summer. Hollywood, our business, is addicted to summer. And so they're doing all the plastic surgery, all the stuff to make it like I'm still in summer. Then there's fall, where the leaves change and the colors, everything changes. You start getting salt and pepper and you start changing over. And then there's 60 and up, which is your winter wonderland, which is all it's all beautiful and sexy to me if you embrace it and like it. So I'm into where I'm at. And the thing is, I can't do what I used to do in my summer. You can't jump off in the lake and swim and anything because it's frozen. But you can put a scarf on, get some eggnog, and get in a sled and get towed by you know what I mean? Horses are towing you. You know what I mean? And you're still rocking it. Yeah, you're not doing backflips to impress the girl into the lake. Yeah. And women think it's hot too. You know what I mean? Women like all seasons, you know?
Yeah.
I like all seasons. I think the hottest actress in the world is Jamie Lee Curtis. She just lets it hang. She's
she
great.
is.
She doesn't
I
do
want
Botox.
her on here. I'm going to get her on
She's
here.
the hottest girl in the world. I would totally be with her.
Oh, she was
2
amazing.
seconds. Yeah,
she's still
she's so
amazing.
hot.
She's still beautiful.
Yeah, so that's just me though. So so that my music is now in the winter. It's coming into winter. I'm 59, so next year, if I can make it to next year, I'll have made all 4 seasons.
Do you feel? I mean, it's incredible because, like we talked about earlier, you did survive. You've gotten to continue to make music and make a living.
Yeah.
Making music.
Yeah.
And it's just changing a little bit here and there. You just and you're sort of, it sounds like to me like you're riding the wave of whatever comes.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster. Career. You know, there's going up, then there's the huge coming
now
down.
You're onto this club.
Yeah, and which is cool because I'm going to get to do music and still do festivals and stuff and party and surf. I love surfing.
And with the, you know, what was interesting when you talked about the School of Rock.
Yeah.
And what is that going to be? Are they going to be kids and where are they coming from?
Well, Stacy is one of my best friends. Stacy Ryan. She's the president of School of Rock. She, you know, I've been doing like workshops with the kids and doing that for years, many years. And so she's my friend. So she's going to come down and surf, her and her husband, and we're going to just surf and stuff. And she wants to decorate one of her rooms as a School of Rock room. So we're just going to take it as that. And then maybe, you know, we'll see about opening a school down there or something.
Yeah, because you've worked with, right? Haven't you worked?
Oh, yeah.
Where is that? You were telling
School
me.
of Rock is all over the world.
But where was the School of Rock you were working with?
Well, I've worked with them at Lollapalooza.
Okay.
At Summerfest in Milwaukee, Lollapalooza in Chicago. I've worked with them in LA, like all over. And so I usually do workshops. Like I'll come and do like an all-star workshop where I get the all-stars from all over the world to come and we'll jam on a stage at Lollapalooza. So I had done that for many years. And so that's what I do with them.
What do you know when I go every year, and I was going to ask you about this. I go to the Cruel World Music Festival every year.
I haven't been yet.
You haven't
I want to go. Yeah,
you should be playing.
I know. I just with what band? Oh, maybe Peter Murphy or something. But I don't. It just hasn't happened yet.
Sean Milliken and I go. You know.
Oh, that's great.
We go every year.
Yeah.
We go. It's like a time capsule. Man.
Yeah.
We go back into time and go see all those old bands.
Yeah. So maybe
best.
if I have a time off and I'll go and see that. Or who knows? Maybe I'll play with some old '80s band.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Go jam. That would be fun. So yeah.
So what's next then?
Well, the Shutter Orbs is a band. I'm doing a thing called Music Genius in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh yeah, that's
going to be.
What is that?
I'm doing a festival with Steve Perkins and a couple partners, and we're doing a music festival out there called Felix Fest after my friend who passed away last year, Felix. And we're doing that out in Wichita, Kansas. We're going to be doing a school out there, and so that's going to be
like a music school.
yeah, not really like a music school, but just like a type of that covers all styles and everything. It's not like one specific thing. We're working on it more.
Okay.
And but mainly a festival out there in Wichita, Kansas, and this Music Genius brand, and where it's going to be all things music and helping people musically, and I guess you could say education, but in a round way, like all the way across all genres and everything, and a TV show out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be a TV show and a festival.
Well, I see you brought your guitar.
Yeah, well, I just...
Can we...
I thought, because we were talking about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And I had done artificial intelligence posters for my beach club.
Right.
And a lot of people were saying, that's terrible. It doesn't look real. Well, because it's not real. I wanted to... It's a mock-up of what my dream is, you know, and I'm posting it to get excitement going. But then once we get it and everything's ready, I'm gonna get a real model and a real, you know what I mean? But
you
right now,
this a week ago.
Yeah. So it's like so I mocked it up. So basically with like my laptop, which I brought here, I can take with artificial intelligence, I could take a piece of like a Hendrix song and remove his vocal and loop it and then jam to it.
Can you?
Yeah, I'll do that now. But obviously, that's not. It's better to get a real drummer, a real band to play. But sometimes you can do stuff with AI. You can use it in a positive way.
Yeah, totally.
But so I believe in both using AI and humanity. You know, whereas opposed to just get rid of the humans and go AI, or get rid of the AI and only humans. So I was just gonna do a little mashup of AI and human.
Also, did your K38 band come from the surf spot?
Yes.
Okay.
38 kilometers. So we went on a surf trip, me and Bill. We went to K38 and we went surfing. It was the best time ever. And we said, let's call our band K38. So
that's my son. He knows K38.
Yeah.
I went there for the first time last year.
Yeah. No, that's what it was, all from that surf spot. Surf trip there.
See, because I always tell Dylan, when we were kids, you and I, we could drive down there every weekend, and it was not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
And there was a stretch where when he was really little, Solo and I would take him on surf trips, but he was very young.
Yeah.
And then for a while, it got kind of hairy down there.
Yeah.
Baja, and it shut down, you know, where it wasn't as fun to go.
Yeah.
Because of the element of danger. But I think it's pretty different now.
Yeah.
You just went, like you said, last year.
Yeah, then I think...
It's a good wave.
But then a month later, a bunch of surfers got killed in the
What?
same spot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, not the same spot, maybe like 30 minutes down the road.
Really?
Still, yeah, they went missing from San Diego, and then they found they're dead.
Oh, great.
We were like, oh my God, we were just there.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. It's a bad world.
Let's hear something.
Okay, let me. So that's what I'll do. I'll loop some Hendrix.
Yeah, let's fucking riff. Yeah.
Let me
fucking rock out.
All this stuff on. So.
Nick, how come you never learned to play any instruments?
I did. The bass guitar. I was actually.
The one riff.
You know what I was gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna, for fun, just for my own self, I was gonna bring this bass, this acoustic bass that Dylan gave me, that's in the house. I was gonna bring it out here and and jam with Peter, but then I was like, I can't play anything except for a couple of.
Is it the one from yesterday?
Huh?
The one from yesterday? No.
Oh no. No.
Cool.
What are we gonna hear?
Okay, well, I'll take a loop of Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
Live Machine Gun in Berkeley, and I'll put a loop and I'll just jam over it. Does that sound good?
Where do we want that mic, Dill? That
It's
one.
right there, right?
Okay.
Yeah, should we give it a shot?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome. Can you get jam on anything anymore?
Sure.
Let's just get a few more going. This is fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I could do, okay, let's do, let's bring in Fire on the Mountain from
Yes.
The Dead. Let me try that.
I love
Does
that
sound
song.
good?
Yes. Oh my God, this is so incredible. This is a treat. This is a real podcast. This is- You know this song? Wow. Fuck, man. That was fucking amazing. One more. We got one more. Give us one more. This is too good, man. This is just too good.
All right, fair enough.
I'm so proud of you. I swear to God. My old friend.
Okay, so let's do, let me do this one. This will be a fun one.
Yeah. fucking radical. Yeah. That was fucking sick. What a treat.
Oh, thank you.
Dude, that was incredible.
Well, I'm glad we filmed that because there were some good moments.
Yeah. You know why, though, dude? I'm so proud of you. We've
Oh,
been
thank
friends for so long.
Yeah.
And to see how you're,
Oh, bro. Love you.
we get to, God damn, what happened to me? Because I'm grateful.
Yeah, I'm grateful too.
And you're such an amazing person. We got to trudge this road together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Amen.
And I'm so proud of you. I'm just
Thank
so
you.
proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, it's been a long, long road, and you're here, you're alive, and you know,
Yeah.
it's great to see, you know, your life and celebrated, and you're celebrating other people's lives. And,
Yes.
and you're carrying that, you know, that message of sobriety to me, which is, you know.
Yeah, I followed you in. You're my God sponsor.
Yes.
So if my sponsor passes before me, you're my sponsor.
I'm your guy.
Yeah,
That'd be my privilege.
That's
you know?
that's hopefully I'll go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if he goes, you're my guy.
I
I'm
hope
gonna
I
be doing
don't go.
9 steps to you. Or 10 steps, that's what it's called. Yeah.
10 steps.
10 steps.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
So proud of you, bro.
Thank you so much for coming, Peter.
Thank you for having me.
I love
Nick.
you, my friend.
I love you too
You're
very
my man.
much. Thank you.
Aloha.